Hi everyone, this is Killshot99 Gaming. This is Fear the Walking Dead, Season 4, Episode 15, Fan Reactions Live. And I've seen a couple of the comments, and it looks like some people are going to be raising their scores up a little bit higher. We did say in the countdown earlier that when people are given 6s and 7s, that usually it's a better episode. And even though we had the spoilers, I think it was a lot better episode. I've got a couple of my criteria that I definitely think was met. I don't think it was overboard. Last week I thought that they overdid the coincidence a little bit. It had 2 or 3 today that leaves you thinking like there's no way that would have happened. But it is it's meant to be more humorous, and we did talk about this after like episode 3 or 4. There is an intent to it, and I'll tell you, right in tonight's episode where I noticed that it happened was they're kind of lighthearted about Jim dying. Can you imagine if when Carl was bit, if they were cracking jokes like, well, hey, you're going to die pretty soon, or if Rick is about to die. I know Jim is not of the same status, but still, it's one of the few times in The Walking Dead I can ever remember that they were kind of making jokes when somebody's getting ready to die. It's inevitable. Like, not really we can do anything, at this point. So I'm going to just throw it out there. We will talk about it a little bit throughout this episode. We're not going to go line by line everything that happened. We're going to talk about some of the things that really stood out in tonight's episode. So as we normally do, I'm going to ask everybody here, let me see your rating for tonight's episode and I'll give you my updated rating. I know some of you had 6s and 7s, but I want to see where you're at with it. I think tonight's episode will do pretty well. I think both with the viewers and also with the live +7 over the next few days. So as people come in at 8. Toledo was a 5 earlier, I think, up to a 7. We got some 9s in here. Pretty steady influx, 8s and 9s. Much, much better than what the scores were earlier. I see 9.2, 9, 9.5. And what we'll do is we'll talk about some of the things that did change it. So my big coincidence before I go through, I gave it a 7.5 earlier, but I'm getting ready to modify that score, and that was just based on what I thought from the spoilers. I thought, okay, it'll be good. I don't know if it's going to be like 9, 9.5 or anything. I did up it from a 7.5 to a 9. Couple of things that really jumped out to me. One, the coincidence that I really liked tonight that I thought, there's no way out. It was kind of the same one, and it worked well, but it definitely was the alarm on the cars. But not just that. It was how Morgan swung the walker back and forth and just, perfect toss. How could you do that? I'm telling you, if that was me and I was doing that swing up there, it probably would have went to the right instead of to the left, or it would have did something. But there's no way I would have been able to get it just right. So it wasn't the alarm. I knew that was going to happen. It was the swinging motion. That was my coincidence of the night. The Walking Dead callback. There were some really good things in tonight's episode. Is it just me, or did you guys feel a Merle vibe when Jim was up there and just kind of the way he was sort of by that fixture? I don't know what it was, the piece of aluminum or whatever he was leaning up against. Didn't that kind of feel like Merle? I'll have to go back and do like side-by-side pictures of it, but it did give me a little bit of that. So also one of the criteria that I had was the villain theme. I'm actually starting to look. I know she should be dead, and I did mention it in the episode we did earlier, the countdown, that Alicia should have just put her down. And I think you kind of got Charlie. Charlie's just like that little voice saying, "We got to help her. We got to help her. We can't leave her. We got to help her." And maybe that's why Alicia didn't, because Charlie was there and she's seen enough violence, maybe. But she's starting to get her groove, and I think if she does get any kind of strength, first of all, let me say this: we do know she's unstable, but also she's super smart. I'm pretty sure. So what was that? She was writing the recipe for the beer on the walker's head. So Sarah was writing it down to remember it, but Martha actually, she just takes all the stuff in. And I think she's going to be able to use her psychology skills on Morgan. She definitely is stalking Morgan. I think she understands Morgan, and she's a person that could put him at a disadvantage. That I agree with Pete. Pete saying Martha's a jerk. Her and Morgan can relate. And you can see Morgan, like, with the writing on his forehead next week. And Morgan looks like he is in beast mode, like he's doing some serious killing. So I'm going to ask the group here, as far as uniqueness, you know what? I'm going to give it a 9.2. I'm going to go a little bit higher because there were some other things that happened, and I don't want to make it extremely tacky or distasteful, but I guess we can be a little tacky. The dude pissing on the walkers, I got to tell you, I laughed. I did. There were several things that happened. I'm thinking, this doesn't happen often, for one, but there were some pretty comical moments. That was unique. And then to end up jumping off. But there were 3 or 4 things here that definitely added some humor. And they happened like right in a row. The conversation with Jim and Sarah as well. So I'm going to up it to a 9.2. One of the better episodes in my mind, even with the extremely convenient ambulance. Well, what's a hospital? There's an ambulance. But the fire truck and Morgan's escape. But I'm going to throw this out to the group. It was. And Bumblebee Brown, I think it did give me that Merle vibe. So I'm going to ask the group, what was the most shocking moment for you? What if you had to react to one thing, what was the most memorable part of tonight's episode? And look, those of you do not hate that Martha's still alive. I mean, there's another Halloween coming out. Michael Myers is still alive. And the walking through the hospital kind of gave you that horror vibe. I did feel like a little bit of a Halloween episode. That Morgan did not blow out his knees on that jump. Yeah. Morgan's jump. Yeah, the tank in the water. Look, they've only been out there for a day. So an alligator doesn't need a lot of water, but it just seemed like it was deeper. That's all. That's all I'm going to say. Like when the tank was driving, I can't imagine that was more than 2 feet. I mean, I know they're big tires, but it only looked like about just a couple feet of water. But I think the last episode, which was in theory just a few hours before, there was at least 4 foot of water there. And see, that I absolutely agree with. Daddy Corleone. It reminds me of a B-rated horror movie, which I really enjoy because they are corny. So to those people that are still looking at this through the lens of this is going to be super serious, I think they know they can't make it that serious. It can't be as intense as The Walking Dead. It has to be something different. But tonight is the first time that I felt the group was a group. The campfire scene, I think that got it started, but that was with the loss. And they're all in the back of this tank, and then, they're naming the beer. It seems like they're starting to appreciate each other a little bit more. They're enjoying each other a little bit more. They know which people are going to stand out as the leaders, and they have an agenda again. They're on their way to Virginia. So I like the story. And the callbacks and the hidden clues, all of those things certainly give us something to talk about. Like with The Walking Dead, it's spoiler, and then because the show is so intense, we're more talking about the actions, and I don't think they can plant enough of the hidden clues in there. And here, they're just all over the place. Like, we could probably literally just go back and watch this episode and find a bunch of sneaky little things that they put in there. That's a good question. So next week is the season finale. Any predictions as far as who we could possibly lose? If you had to pick one of the core group, maybe we won't lose anybody, but if you had to pick one, who's going to go? Yeah, I'm thinking Lucy. Now, I can't be Sarah. Sarah's got that, not only the recipe, but the extra secret. And one day we'll find that out. I just feel like that if this lasts a couple more seasons, I think we need to do something to remember Jim. Jimbo's Beer Bows. Because if it were not for Jim, if it wasn't for Jim, the Fear of the Walking Dead show would have just ended tonight. They never would have gotten out of it. So thank you, Jim, for saving Morgan, Charlie, Wendell, Sarah, the whole group. Was anybody else thinking? Look, I do have an alternate plan, because when they were all on the fire truck, and they were trying to figure out how to get away, I'm thinking, well, you got a ladder. I mean, if that ladder can stretch 7 stories, that ladder can get you far enough away from those walkers. That's what I was thinking. I already knew, because of the spoilers. But if we didn't know that Jim was going to give his life, why not use a ladder? All right, couple more points for tonight's episode. So this was, when I said the funny moments happen like all in a row, the one I forgot about that really cracked me up is was Strand pouring the alcohol on John's side. I did like that, and they happened just bam, bam, bam. I think it's like 1 minute, Jim's relieving himself, and then the comment with Sarah, and the next thing you know, it's like pouring alcohol on the side. So it definitely had a nice, funny feel to it. And I probably laugh more Fear the Walking Dead this season than I have in the whole Walking Dead series. Oh, yeah, that was another one. The C word, and she goes, but she didn't say the C word. It was the whole quesadilla. They're getting kind of clever. Like, I couldn't figure it out early on, but Sarah definitely looks like she's going to have the full comic vibe, the full Abraham. Or the full quesadilla, I guess. that's another reason why I don't think Sarah will die. I think the loss of Abraham was, they thought they could just kind of throw Jerry in there and do it. Nah, Jerry's good, but Jerry ain't no Abraham. And I think they realized that since Abe's been gone that we missed that, and they gave us Sarah. Yeah, she grows on you. Steph, I will tell you, though. Steph says Strand is only out for Strand. Not tonight. I saw something in Strand. I feel like Strand's getting a little bit of faith. I'm not going to say he's... Well, you know what? I'm going to say it. I'm going to go on record of saying I think there's a parallel in a weird sort of way between Father G and Strand. Direction, and then lost faith, and then renewed faith. And I think once Strand gets that commitment to that renewed faith, he's going to be just as strong and maybe morally just as well. He's got a lot to make up for. And that seems to be a central theme. Like everybody's talking about, Alicia last week said, she just wanted it to be good. She figured she could do a little bit of good. Morgan said he needed to do a little bit of good. And now I feel like Strand is not really saying it as much, but he is giving you a little bit of like, hey, you sort of changed my perspective. The line that I wrote down with Jim during the Walker P scene was when he actually said to Morgan, take a step to the left because the wind's changing directions. It was just like rapid fire. Yeah, you know what? It might be too early to say that Strand is not going to be selfish. It's kind of like saying it's too early to say that Negan is going to change and Negan's going to rescue the group. Like, we think it's going to go down that direction, but we got to see some other stuff. So Strand's going to have to prove it. Oh, no way. So E Beach asked the question, is the group making it back in time to see Rick? No, it's impossible, because next week is the season finale, and by the time Fear comes back on, Walking Dead is going to be 6 years ahead of them. So they are going to be playing with time in Fear the Walking Dead. I don't think Fear the Walking Dead is going to give them... Well, there's no way. There's no way they can do a 2-year time skip, or even just to get them up to where they are now. I don't think, because you're just going to put them right in the middle of Virginia. I think we got to see Fear play out. And then once they get there, they can mess around with time. Unless... Now... Do you think it is possible that if they don't skip time... first of all, I don't think Andrew Lincoln will be on Fear as a regular, as some people have suggested. But do you think that we could see a cameo? Maybe while they're doing this time skip or making their way back up, they do run into each other. See, that I could see happen. Because they're still going to be, even when the show starts and they skip 18 months, you figure it took Morgan 6 months to get down there, however long it takes him to get back, you still got to think they're going to be a year ahead on the television show. So by the time Fear catches up, they could run into Andy as they're just building society back up before anything major happens. At any time. I don't know if it has to be a season finale. It could be several episodes in. And you know what, Pete? That's fair enough. Pete says he doesn't think that Fear will actually get back to Alexandria. But you know what? Now I'm kind of interested to see what would keep them from getting there. What would divert them? Morgan's death? Morgan losing his mind? I guess if they're not going to make it, since Morgan, well, I mean, you could find Alexandria, Virginia, but you don't know exactly where they're going to be at, or, their little stronghold. So if Morgan's not there, the group's not finding it. Unless they happen to run into somebody else close by. Or is it possible that at some point we see some Fear the Walking Dead characters' heads on pikes? There you go. We'll throw that out there. Is it possible they could play with time and maybe this group runs into the Whisperers before the other group runs into the Whisperers? I guess anything's possible. I mean, if you really wanted to draw that interest. They're going to have to get to where they can stand on their own, though. Morgan has some serious job security right now. I know they're getting Alicia more involved, but Morgan really helped the show. So I don't see him getting a death anytime soon. He don't die. I really want him to say that. When he was down there at the generator talking to June, I want him to say, "I don't die." But no. They couldn't give him that great line. That would have gotten applause out of the crowd. So we've seen pretty mixed reaction. I mean, some people thought, hey, it was a little too corny. The writing went a little bit overboard. I loved it. I mean, I've had some average episodes. I thought this was great, though. It gave me that horror movie vibe at some points, and it gave me a couple laughs. So I got a little bit of everything. And it is reminding me more and more of the old Walking Dead. And by old, I mean, season 3, season 4. It's okay, Pete. You can be a cynic. But, it starts to change a little bit, I guess. For all of us, it's just a little bit of what we're looking for. Like, I don't have super high expectations for it. And Sarah, just for whatever reason, I'm starting to like her character more and more. But you guys know my attachment to Abraham. And I haven't really found that, the person could throw those lines out there. Now, Sarah, in the beginning, I wasn't sold on Sarah the first time I met her. But now that I'm a little bit more comfortable with the group and I sort of see the way they interact with each other, I think the writing's only going to get better for her. They gave us some good writing just to sort of test it a little bit to see how we're going to react. And then now that we can sort of pick our characters. What they have to be careful is just not to make this a Morgan and a Alicia, love fest where everybody's going to pick well, if Alicia dies, I'm going to stop watching. If Morgan dies, I'm going to stop watching. I mean, they got to be careful, and they got to do some things for John. And they got to do some things for the other characters out there as well, just to get them a little bit more liked. Morgan has a lot to make up for. You know what? That is a great point. Thank you for that, Rob Morris. We are actually, this is our reaction video, and I know some people want to get back to Talking Dead, and they also want to catch a little bit of the football game, which is heating up a little bit. Just a couple announcements that I want to make. Those of you that are sports fans, would love for you guys to join us, get involved in some of the chat. We do predictions on Saturday mornings for college football, 11 o'clock. Also with NFL, Sundays, 12 o'clock. We do a little bit of fantasy football. I went 8-4 today. Hey, not bad. Was much better than the college predictions yesterday. I was a complete train wreck with that. No luck at all with those. Also, throughout the week, and of course, we do the countdown, we do the reaction video, but Monday through Thursday, 9:30 every night, we're going to have some really good Walking Dead topics. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about episode number 1, which will air in 2 weeks, so we're going to go ahead and get out there, talk about the events that are going to happen. Also, once again, just want to remind everybody, there are no Rick Grimes death spoilers that are confirmed. So if you see them, if you hear them, just be very skeptical of anything that's out there. There was some fan fiction written, and a couple of people ran with it just to you talk about it, get a whole bunch of views, and it's not legit. So our theories, our predictions are just as good as anybody else's right now. We're making some strong deductive reasoning theories and having a lot of fun with it. But I also, we're going to be close, but I don't think we're going to be on the money, and we probably will still be a little shocked by the time the episode comes out. So, I want to thank everybody for being here, and also saw a couple people reminding people to slap that like button. Come on, 999 Army, hit the like button. If you like what we do and you like hanging out with us and talking about shows and talking about other stuff, like this thing up, and when the video goes live, make sure that you guys get over and comment, and other people are commenting to your comments that are happening live right now. So it's a really neat thing that these show on the playback now. There's just a lot of good engagement and a lot of good interaction. So looking forward to next week's season finale, and then all throughout the week we'll get spoilers up. Probably we'll do the same thing. We'll wait till Sunday, just to everybody has like the last possible minute. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to do a few shout-outs, so if you can give me a quick 999, we will wind this video down. I want to give special shout-outs to all my patrons in top left-hand corner. A lot of new people are supporting the channel. Thank you so much. It's been a fantastic summer. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon and learning a little bit more about what happens outside of YouTube, then there's a link down below. Also, you can see the sponsors. Their name is highlighted in green. They're up in the top right. They get special emojis. Thank you to them as well. We got some gear. If you guys want to join our Facebook page, Kel, one of our moderators, got a picture with Jeffrey Dean Morgan. So that was posted on there, and he is aware of the 999 Army now. So far, we've had one of our moderators, Steph, met Kari Payton. So Hippo, you guys probably saw the video we posted a while back. Hippo getting a shout out from Father G, also Aaron, and then now Kel meeting with Negan. Awesome stuff. So thank you so much for you guys just getting out there and talking about our group. So we must have a really awesome group if you guys are out there spreading the word. So thank you so much. Let's do some shout-outs. I want to say what's up to DDA Ohio, also at eBeach72, Maria Favada, Frankie Taylor, Samantha Coombs, Shane Hassan. There's Hippo. Hippo's going to have an H-bomb in December. Looking forward to that. Patrick Ivers, thank you. Appreciate you being here. Fluff Salisbury says Abraham knows about the Army. So, hey, we need to get one of them in a 999 shirt. That would be awesome. Who's going to be brave enough to take their shirt and then go up there and say, hey, I'd like for you to put this on when we take the picture. That's what I want to see happen. Then you'll know that we made it. Zelda Faz, thank you so much. Grayland 28, Phoenix Rising, Bumblebee Brown, Jimmy Coonan, Marsha Cooper, thanks for being here. Sergeant Chosen One, Rob Morris, Toledo, appreciate you. Dawn of the Frank, Walani, have a good night. Antonio Aragon, thank you. Drama King, thank you. Timothy Lamora, Julie McGuire, Samantha W., Cammie. Wow. Tons of people. Appreciate all you guys being here. Jackie Evans, thank you. Sam B., have a good evening. Both of our Kimberly G's, thank you. Chris Riddle as well. And I know I missed a ton of shout-outs. If I missed you guys in a shout-out, I will try to make it up to you tomorrow night. It'll be a little bit longer stream, but I know many people want to get back and catch the end of Talking Dead. So thank you so much, everybody. Laura Butler, Newfield 12, Lisa Marie, Holly B., Candy's Aid. Thank you, everybody. I will talk to you all tomorrow night at 9:30. See you then. Peace.